That's such nice big windows. Yeah. We want art. Yeah.
Okay, I'll call the July 13th workshop meeting to order. Would you stand for the pledge to the flag? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The first order of business is the public hearing that was scheduled for this evening at 6 p.m. has been canceled due to an error in the legal notice. We will be at tonight's meeting rescheduling that public hearing. Apologies to all concerned. Appears we got the word out because we're supposed to be here tonight. So thank you for the clerk's office and helping get the word out to as many people as we could. Kate, would we do the roll call?
Councilman Coleman,
Here.
Councilwoman Allen, here. Councilman Paddock is absent. Councilman Smeesa, here. Supervisor Bates.
Here. The first resolution is Town of Rochester Town Board set with the agenda as prepared by the town supervisor.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstained. The June financial report, which did not have some of the numbers. So the revenue for the general fund is $240,000, $240,662.53. For the highway fund, $3,462.23. The expenditures paid out in abstract 6 of 2023, general fund, $130,519.16. Highway fund, $495,409.63. Capital fund is $0. Street lighting fund, $289.91. Ambulance fund, $0. Escrow fund, $6,756.19. The total expenditures for June, the general fund is $203,254.83. The highway fund, $548,899.56. The capital fund is $0. The street lighting fund is $289.91. The ambulance fund is $0. And the escrow fund, $6,756.19. Upcoming events reminder, we are continuing our plastic recycling at the transfer station on the first Saturday of each month from 11:30 to 3:30.
Yeah.
Okay.
Since the first.
Yeah, that would be, any other reminders of anything? Other board members? And we will be doing our audit meeting on July 27th. So our first resolution is setting the public hearing. The Town of Rochester Town Board will reconvene a public hearing on the matter of request of Accord LLC for consideration of inclusion of 5 parcels in the Economic Enterprise Overlay Zoning District pursuant to Town of Rochester Code 140-18.1 at 6:30 p.m. on July 27th, 2023 at the Harold Wilton Community Center, 15 Tobacco Road, Accord, New York 12404. We'll need to amend it to say the audit meeting shall immediately follow. The town clerk is requested to post legal notice of the hearing.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Have a second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstained. For the public and for the board members, the applicant has made some reductions in their project. They have submitted that in electronic format to my office. For the board, it has been sent to our consultant who was reviewing it. She was not going to have time to get it done for tonight's meeting. You have a hard copy, and I also emailed you the digital copy. Kate has a copy of the hard copy, and it also has been added to the Google Drive. So everything is up to date as of that last submission. I need to add another resolution that I realized we never did a motion for the interviews at 6 p.m. on the 27th, did we? I think we set the date and I said I would check with people if they were available. I don't remember.
I thought we set to make the audit meeting earlier than it was, but I don't remember us.
Yeah, just since now we're doing the public hearing, humor me, we'll do another motion. So I'm going to make a motion that the Town of Rochester Town Board schedules a workshop meeting for the purpose of interviews for boards and commissions to be held July 27, 2023 at 6 p.m. at the Harold Lipton Community Center, 15 Tobacco Road, Accord, New York, 12404. Town clerk has requested to post legal notice of the hearing, and for the board that meeting we will convene it in public, but then we will go into executive session for the interviews. And that would be from 6 to 6 until 6:30. We'll be done by 6:30 in order to do the public hearing.
I'll
So,
make that motion.
have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
So that's 3, we'll be doing 3 interviews.
Two, the one person that we've interviewed before, I was not feeling. We normally, if we have interviewed a person before, we don't normally bring them back in. So schedule the 2 new applications.
Okay.
It's been our past practice of people that we've already interviewed previous for reappointment. We don't normally.
Okay, I think if we have time in that 30 minutes, we could offer.
Yeah,
Yes,
I'm
we
just,
might.
I'm worried about time. I would rather do 15 minutes with the people we don't know personally.
Okay, I mean, how the other board members feel.
We normally don't re-interview people that are already seated. That's been our practice, so that's why I didn't. We only did it last time because it was. Oh, actually, we didn't do it last
I'm trying to remember.
We did it 2 years ago. When we had that long Zoom
Yeah,
interview when we did.
time. I'm only with the public hearing at 6:30 and the public coming. I'd rather not have it be that tight back to back
yeah.
unless you really feel the need for
I
it.
just feel like if it's possible that if we're making decisions, there might be questions that we hadn't asked that person or been able to I don't know.
I don't know.
And if we end up deciding we want to go with something fair.
It's your call. I'm just, like I said, I follow past precedent of what we've done. If the person who's already been seated, we don't normally re-interview them. They send a letter and we consider them. But however you want to do it.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. I mean, I'd be fine starting at 5:45 if we want to tack on extra 15 minutes. People want to do the interview. I don't know whether people.
I think we should offer it if it hasn't been offered.
Okay, my concern is once we do it, then when we move forward into the next year, and if we're going to interview every time we're considering reappointing somebody, now I'm feeling like we're setting precedent.
Well, it's not a reappointment because that's the alternate, right?
Correct, but it's still, we don't normally interview alternates either. We just, I'm just following how we've always done it. It didn't even occur to me that we would offer that interview.
Okay,
Yeah, I guess maybe I should have discussed it with you guys ahead.
So are you proposing, so
So right now I have them scheduled at 6:05 and 6:15.
are we interviewing for the alternate position?
no, we're
No.
interviewing first.
We have a vacancy in the seat. We've had 3 inquiries, one of which is the current
The
alternate.
current alternate.
Normally, we don't interview the alternate. if they wanna.
And appoint them to the seat.
No, I said we don't normally interview the alternate. If they are interested in the whole seat, we don't normally interview them. Appointment is something different, but I'm just saying for the interview process, we usually only interview new applicants, not,
Yeah, we didn't last year.
yeah.
When we moved the alternate to a seat.
I'll do it however you guys want to do it, but if we do it that way, we gotta schedule. Because with the public hearing at 6:30, we need to be done by 6:25 because we're gonna lock the door and.
Yeah. I only remember when I moved as alternate and they were like, if you want to interview, you can, but if you don't, it's fine. And then I said, okay, I don't need to.
We did that a long time ago and then we just sort of, kind of during the pandemic, we stopped. So,
I think we should offer it. If it turns out they don't care, then it doesn't matter, but then we'd have to schedule the meeting.
yeah,
For earlier.
they're not currently worked into the schedule because I've got 2 10-minute slots.
So I think we should just.
Less than
schedule-
10 minutes is not enough.
I think we should schedule to change it to 5:45 and then if it ends up being later, we can just start later.
I'm okay with that. If they don't want to do it, then we're just here early.
I'm not opposed to that either. Yeah, to offer it to them and then we'll schedule it for the 15 minutes early.
Bear in mind though, now I've already scheduled the other people. So if we're gonna show up, we now have to show up and start the meeting at 5:45.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
just said.
No, but if the alternate doesn't want to, then we're just sitting around for,
We can,
We can sign bills.
no, I don't know that we can. Because it's a special. Mary, can we, if we get here earlier, can they start signing bills?
Yeah, you can sign bills during the day,
Okay,
right?
okay. So then we'll, did we vote on the motion?
I just have him saying he would amend the resolution and you talked and then Erin said she would second it, but I don't really know if that's.
Okay.
I was gonna say-
So you're gonna amend it to be 5:45. You're gonna second it?
yeah,
All in favor?
I,
Aye. Opposed? Okay, I'll offer at 5,
and if 45,
I want 5:50. Because
Okay.
we gotta get into
Right.
executive session.
and if they say no, then we can just sign bills for, that works for me.
Or just talk. Just catch up.
Okay,
Not an executive session. no.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
okay. Next motion. Transfer of ARPA funds. Town of Rochester Town Board. What did I butcher that word? Authorizes the town supervisor to appropriate $175,000 in American Rescue funding for the purpose of grant match for the Ulster County Parks Grant. The funds shall be transferred from ARPA receivable funds to the capital project.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
I'll second.
I meant to run the report of where this will put us. We will have approximately 135,000, I believe. Actually, hang on.
Yeah, that's my only question. I didn't have the numbers top of mind and I know we earmarked for something.
Well, we earmarked for broadband, but it's so vague and up in the air and we don't know quite what's happening. And by the end of this year, we have to have appropriated all that money. So if we haven't used it by the end of the year, I'm gonna make a motion that we just appropriate it as unreimbursed revenues, which we can do. And then it just becomes part of our general fund. And then whenever we use it, we can take it out of the general fund to use it. But this I want to appropriate specifically for that project, because we have to pay for it somehow. We can take it out of the general fund, but we might as well use the ARPA money for it. So,
But you're saying that if we appropriate $175,000 for the bathroom project, which I totally support, there'll still be ARPA funds available in case we want to use it.
yeah, it's open meeting. If you were here for the public hearing, that was canceled tonight. But yes, this is definitely an open meeting. Feel free.
Is this anything to do with the grant recovery?
No, that's the public hearing that was canceled.
We just scheduled it for the 27th. Yeah.
Is there any news that I can find out about it or no?
They've done a new submission. That's the extent of it. The town clerk,
Do you want to review this for a few minutes? I'm all up to date.
Great.
yeah.
So is it moving along the process?
Yeah.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, we're rescheduling. There was an error in the legal notice. So because of that, tonight's public hearing was canceled. We've just rescheduled it for the 27th at 6:30 PM here in this. And that was their last submission that came this week with some changes that they've made based on the public hearing
I have a couple
process.
of weeks to work things out. for the
Yeah.
27th.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Let me just pull up here, Aaron, the balance for you. I meant to print it out and did not. But, you know, we're at the point now that whether we take this 175 now or we take it later, it's ultimately probably just gonna become part of our fund balance. And then we'll just be spending it on whatever we choose to spend it on. Because we budgeted a certain amount for broadband, but we didn't appropriate it. So,
Oh, we didn't do it officially.
No.
Yeah, I know we like did it in the budget. I think my only thing is like, if we were making the decision to like not do that, I just wanted to be aware of like what decisions we were sort of consenting. to.
well, we had sort of, let me get the number for you. We had sort of talked about, we had the 100, when we first appropriated that, or not appropriated, but when we first earmarked that, we also had the, it was
105,
very unknown of what the cost was going to be. And I think we're still in that situation.
Right.
And I'll be honest, I don't think by the end of the year, we're gonna be any further ahead of where we should be.
And we have the 100 and,
Have confidence.
I was
say, oh, Michael, yeah.
It's not lack of confidence in you, Michael, it's lack of confidence in Spectrum.
I have.
Thank you. I personally feel like the 105 is fine for the amount of parcels they have to do.
But that's just in our fund.
But let's, so there were,
I would much rather use ARPA funds for a project like this.
this is, we have to match that money. We just got
Yeah,
that money awarded to us. We
I'm
have-
not opposed to it. I just
so-
want to make sure.
That's not that's more than the grant.
The grant was 100,000. Our
Project is 270.
let me finish what we're getting all over the map here. So $392,679.22 remains prior to, no, I'm sorry, 300. Wait, that's the amount committed. It is $595,179.22 remains. I was reading the wrong column. So with this 175, there will still be 420,000 plus remaining.
Was
So
there something else? I remember that, am I just misremembering that we had something else that we were
300,000.
appropriating, but not officially bringing the spreadsheet or something?
No, you're misremembering. That was the highway money, which I had put in the proposal, and then we did appropriate it.
Okay.
So
Was it for my pirate ship I want back at the park?
I'll print this out for you next
Okay,
week.
Okay.
mean,
I feel, yeah, if there's 500,000.
595,000, taking 100, there's still remaining 420,000,
That's,
which we probably,
for some reason I thought there was like a lot less, but I don't know. Yeah.
no, that was the amount we've spent. We've spent I don't know, but I will print this out for you, Steve. But there is still remaining.
We can.
Actually, I apologize. That is incorrect. It is the 392,000. I'm reading this wrong. So 392,000, so 679.22. So with that 175, it will be remaining 215,670.
That seems reasonable.
Yeah. And like I said, we have to have it committed by next year. We have to have it
Yeah.
by,
Committed, and then we have to have
Committed
it
and
all
under
spent. Okay, great. I
which
feel
is
like,
why in December, whatever's left at the end of this calendar year, my plan is to just propose that we appropriate that and be done with it. And once it's in our general fund, then we can use it in
Yeah.
any manner.
I was just I didn't know how much was in there, and I wanted to know exactly what decision we were making. I feel comfortable and like we can probably call it those, so.
I mean, we have to pay for this some way. It's either coming out of fund balance or it's coming out of the ARPA. I figure. So.
Thanks.
Otherwise, this
Just tell me,
doesn't,
just tell me my perspective.
otherwise this doesn't happen.
Yes,
And
I'm not opposing. I just wanted to know if were committing all of our ARPA funds with this.
Not yet. It's still 200 and some thousand, which is probably about 25% of. Okay, so did I get a motion?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, all in favor?
I,
Opposed, abstained. Okay. I'm gonna propose we go out of order and move the subdivision code amendments up. So we can work, Mary Lou has some recommendations she'd like to make.
okay,
I'm hoping you guys brought your copies
I brought
from the other day. I did make the one change that we added. Copy?
that's like.
Subdivision, the one I handed out at the last meeting. I just, you can take that and you can put it on my desk when you're done. It was mixed in with my subdivision code, that's why I couldn't find it. So. You have a copy handy, Mary Lou, that you want to go sort of page by page or section by section, or how do you want to do this? You're muted.
I don't have page numbers on the copy, so.
No, I know, but if you tell us a section.
Yeah, I'll give you sections. So really, basically, I looked at the changes you made, and I have a couple little comments on things that were in there already that I recommend we make a little clearer.
Okay,
But my first is section 125.9 recreation fees. That got moved into kind of a catch-all at the beginning.
yes.
And I'm not quite sure why.
Why it got moved?
Yeah,
So we moved it because where it used to be was kind of in the middle of nowhere. And we sort of felt like it was more about the generalized just subdivision law.
you do have it in the conservation law already, in the conservation subdivision section. It's still
Okay.
there.
Okay,
But I think it's important that this says that if planning board determines suitable park or parks of adequate size cannot be properly located. But the first step is they have to determine that parkland is appropriate for the subdivision.
okay,
And that's under state law, town law 277.
so the language that's there is the existing language, so.
Right,
whatever
and I'm
you
saying
say.
that we need to add to by just
Okay.
saying, if the planning board determines that, if the planning board makes a finding pursuant to section 277 of town law, of New York State Town Law that the subdivision plat presents a proper case for
Hang on,
requiring.
sorry. Slow down, because I'm not Kate. I apologize.
I figured Kate was getting it all down for us.
Planning board makes a finding.
Pursuant to New York State Town Law, Section 277,
Mm-hmm.
4B.
4B,
Yep,
is that a lowercase or an uppercase B?
lowercase b in parentheses.
Got it.
Let's see, that the subdivision presents a proper case for requiring a park or parks suitably located but that such parks cannot be properly located on the subdivision plat. And then you can take out like the first line. Subdivision, and then you can continue. So if you take out that, the first line and just the word subdivision in the second line and replace it with what I read, you'll be
And
covered.
then continue on with the or is otherwise not.
Yep, everything else can stay as it is.
And are you okay with us making it this 125 dash? It was kind of buried. I forgot where it was. It was kind of buried somewhere within the code and it just sort of felt lost, like it was just hanging out.
Okay. No, it can be there. Usually people just have it under each type of subdivision, they put that paragraph in. So,
wow.
but that's okay.
That'd
It
be
can be
better?
there.
Oh, it can be there?
Yeah, it can be there. I prefer it the other way, but that's okay. And the
Let's
reason I
move it
prefer
there.
it the other way is if somebody's doing a minor or a major or a conservation, they don't necessarily, that's the section they go to when they're determining what they need to do.
Okay, I will move it appropriately then before we.
Okay.
Which, can I just ask, is it any section or would it just
Could
be
be each
required?
section.
So like it
It
could
would be
be
minor,
required in minor.
could be required in major, could be required in
In
conservation.
conservation, we know,
All three.
and
would
then,
be-
okay.
Those are the only.
And then I know, okay, and so it's like different when like a multifamily housing unit is considered.
That's in zoning code.
Yeah.
This is
Right,
sub-
that's not, this is.
the only
this
three
is
options
subdivision.
are minor, major. It wouldn't be in a lot line adjustment. That's the one place it wouldn't be, but it will be in all the. I'll just find the appropriate place to include it in
Okay.
each section. And I'll just use the same language in each section. And
All
then
right,
125.9, we'll just come back to saying. Whatever it used to say, I think unused or something.
yeah, and I mean, you know, the planning board can say this is a 2-lot subdivision, we don't need a park. And then it's all done with, but if they say, you know, this is a 10-lot subdivision, we definitely need parkland, but you can't get it in there, then they can require the rec fee.
Okay,
All right?
next,
Next is 12510, A1, which is old code, but it says law, chapter, regulations, and code are interchangeable. They are absolutely not interchangeable.
okay. So what should it say?
You should just take that out.
The whole thing?
Yep, just number 1, and then renumber them.
Number one.
Oh.
125.10.
A1.
through the subdivision code that I handed out the other day with Mary. I don't know if you have it with you.
I don't think
All right,
Okay,
so just take that out.
yep,
My next comment is in the definition section
yep,
where we talk about lots. Many places in here, we say a legal tract or parcel of land. I don't know what that means. I think you might mean a legally created
okay.
parcel of land.
So it
If you-
used to say a tract or parcel of land, and the ZRC wanted to add the word legal.
Right, but that doesn't really tell you what makes it legal. So if you say legally created, I think that's gonna address their concern, because they're probably were concerned that somebody subdivided a parcel without going through the proper procedure.
Exactly.
But I don't think that makes it a legal parcel. So let's say legally created
Okay.
on
And-
all those going right through.
Yep, yep, we'll say that for each one.
All right. In plan A sketch plan, it's just in the third line down. It says consideration by for site plan. I think you'd want to just get rid of the word by, or maybe it's supposed to say by planning board. I'm not sure.
Let me see. It used to say for conceptual consideration by site and determining allowable density. So now it's to be used on a basis for conceptual consideration. It should just say for site.
Or,
review.
yep, just take
Yeah.
away by.
By should have disappeared.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, Mike, I'm sure you checked this, but wait, back up. Let's go to prime farmland soils.
Yeah,
I think it's kind of,
we agonized over this a really long time, so don't.
it looks like one long sentence rather than a definition. So I'm okay if it just changes to say, prime farmland soils, those soils as mapped and defined or designated by the United States Department of Agriculture as prime farmland soils.
Okay, so using the defined word in the definition is not a problem?
No, because we're saying it, we're using it as they have designated.
So we're
In that
saying
manner.
those soils as mapped and defined or designated?
Yep.
Should we just say mapped, comma, defined, comma, or designated?
Yeah, that's fine.
So we don't have two ands in a row.
Yep.
By the United States Department of Agriculture as prime farmland soils.
Yes.
Okay, and I'll check in zoning, because I think we put that definition in zoning too.
Okay, going down a couple paragraphs. Are you caught up?
Yep,
Okay. On the public water supply, did you check, Mike, on, this goes along with health department? Because it says a community or non-community water system, but
I'll double check.
because
That
I don't know, yeah, they're very, very, particular with and it doesn't necessarily make sense. But I assume what we're looking
Oh.
for is to go along with the Department of Health. And I'm not sure if they say a municipal,
I'll email Tim Rose and just get the
yeah,
state.
if he could help out with that, that would be great. Yep, it could help us. Going to the next page at the top, roadway, scenic and historic.
Yep,
So we have a roadway of locally or regionally outstanding scenic, natural, recreational, cultural, historic, or archaeological significance. My question is, as determined by who?
oh, that's actually, it's the state legislature has to designate that. That's like,
And let's put as designated by the state of New York.
because scenic byways are state designated.
Right, yeah, I knew what you were getting to. but I'm trying to find the little things that people will argue and say, I don't think it's that outstanding.
If we just say state of New York, we're okay on that?
Yeah, because, you know,
Okay.
at some point it might be not the legislature, it may be a regulation from a
Yep.
department.
Okay,
All right. All right, let's,
what about this federal with federal,
yeah, you could put federal or state.
yeah, because I don't know if like designation for historic property, if the federal could, I don't know if it has to be a structure. I think it can be an item or a roadway or something.
Mhm.
State of New York, or, so it's designated by the state of New York, or would I say federal government, or,
Yeah.
okay.
Do you want to include county? I don't know if county does anything.
County doesn't have any oversight over that. They can just make
Okay.
recommendations. That I know.
Okay. All right.
It's either a state designation or it's a federal. Because if you're part of the National Register, then it's federal. But the state can also declare.
Yeah.
Wait, am I right, Kane, on that? I think the state can also declare it historic. So, yeah, so that covers us, at least for the moment. Okay,
Okay. And now I'm trying to read my own handwriting, and that's always a struggle. I want you to change something in subdivision, re-subdivision number 2. If the parcel will. Ah,
yeah, I mean, I remember that came from you, in that you said, you know, if multiple people own one property, they both have to be applicants,
right. Yep.
or they all have to be applicants. It used to all be one sentence.
Oh, no, you know what? My thing is in the little space between. It's actually, now I know what it says because it's refers to number 1, not number 2.
Okay,
Okay. So such an application is to be treated in the same manner as an original plat, except if the changes to the filed subdivision qualify. I would change that to, if the changes to the filed subdivision will change the designation to a major subdivision. Just to
yeah.
clarify.
How about it has been determined to be a major subdivision? Because it
Well,
starts with the code enforcement officer who does the determination. Now, I think it's not the planning board who does the determination, so.
Yeah, but the building department also has to follow this. And it's a definition. So when he
Okay.
looks at that definition, he should say, oh, they've
Understood.
changed this enough that if it came before us today, it would be a major subdivision.
Okay, so except that the changes to the filed subdivision, we're taking out the word qualify, and we're changing it to what?
Will change the designation to a major subdivision.
Okay,
And then on number 2, where we
Yep.
talk about co-applicants, agree to the re-subdivision, I think we need that in writing. That's what the planning board has required. Get us a letter saying they're okay with it if they're not joining in.
well, we just say they must be co-applicants.
I think that,
Must be co-applicants in the application, or it can be processed by the planning board.
you can do that. It could make it problematic. Someone might say, well, I don't want to be involved in this. I don't want to apply for a subdivision, but I have no objection to your changing it in this manner.
Oh, okay,
And the way we found that is like when there's a road going through.
Right.
And it's a private road and a number of people are using it. And they don't want to be involved in the subdivision itself, but they don't have any objection to another lot using
Okay.
that road.
Understood. So we should change the word, must be co-applicants or,
Provide written agreement to the re-subdivision.
okay,
Okay. Next on Terminal Vista. Is it do we want terminal or terminating? Terminal
Um,
sounds like they're not gonna make it. I don't know. Maybe that's what it's called. But I think that we want to take out,
that came
And-
about because it's in our conservation subdivision section that we borrowed from Rhinebeck.
Gould Road is terminal.
So in urban design, the terminating should be terminal, Mary Lou.
okay, but I think that we want to just put Terminal Vista, take out in urban design a terminating vista. All we care about is what's in our code.
And we shouldn't even
And,
say,
and we're not urban,
we can just say a building, we can just begin with.
right?
the-
Just start with the word up.
That was straight from a Google search courtesy of Mr. Paddock.
Yeah.
Yep.
And double checking it right now, terminating this.
Oh, it is terminating.
It is terminating.
Terminating, got it.
All right.
Although we need to double check. Let me look real quick, Mary Lou, in the,
Right,
conservation
if we have
subdivision.
terminal in the,
yeah,
we can, change it there to say
that's
terminating.
where it is.
You can go back and just do a word search though, right?
Yeah, I was hoping it would jump out at me. but-
There's also terminal vistas, the exact same definition.
Ooh, like flammable and inflammable.
I think that the-
Terminating and terminal.
What are you smiling about?
Pick one and
fine.
use it throughout, that's all. Pick one and use it
Yeah.
throughout.
I wasn't making a big note. Check in code.
It's fine. I don't know, all right. Guys aren't part of our club.
Okay,
Okay, the next page, is the word wooded really defined by the US National Vegetation
Yeah.
Classification?
it is.
That gave me my laugh for the day. Okay. All right, moving on. On 125.13A2,
13A,
We
there is no A2.
it's 13 capital A. You must have 13 and 13A.
No?
Well,
Oh,
mine has it. You have 13 is one
Yeah.
section,
okay,
and
I
then
see
there's
where,
another section,
13A,
125.13A.
procedures for major subdivisions, got
Right.
it.
Um,
But I don't think we have a 2, do we?
A, 1 and 2. 125.13A, 1 and 2.
No,
No, there's only an A, there is no 1 and
Under A, your first section under 125-13A is A.
2.
Right?
Yep,
And then there's a paragraph, and then under that, there's a subsection 1 and 2.
But
No.
we don't have that.
No, we might have. combined.
Is that
What-
something you got rid of?
What's the change? that you're-
Tell us what it says, and maybe we can find it that way, because I sent you exactly the same thing that this is printed, so. I think
Okay,
it's the wrong
it
section.
says in number 2, the planning board shall have the discretion to request conservation subdivision development, whereupon review of a proposed subdivision, the
Yeah,
planning board.
in our case, that's part of all A, there isn't a 1 and 2.
Oh, all right. Well, on mine, it printed out with a subsection 1 and a subsection 2.
That's really weird.
But anyway, discretion to request. Did you want discretion to require?
The planning board shall have the discretion to,
No,
we did want requests,
yeah, we talked about.
Okay,
so.
so, and if
So,
they say
so,
no,
so in this case, Mary Lou, if the planning board is reviewing a major subdivision and they say, we want to see a conservation subdivision option, as
Mhm.
well. So they can request,
And the applicant
and
can
they
say no.
they can compare the conservation versus the standard
No.
subdivision.
I understand that, but as a request, the applicant could say, no, we're not doing that.
Yes, we can require that they present the option.
In their discretion, I could say,
Actually, now that I read it, so it's saying, yeah, I think it should say require because
Yeah.
it's, they've already
because
determined
other,
it will best meet the, it should be.
right. And if you have requests that people go, well, that's a nice request, not interested.
Yeah. But they have to give us a reasoning, and then the reasoning is the subdivision conservation will best meet the criteria of
Yeah.
Article 4 site
Yeah.
design.
Yeah, it can't be willy-nilly. Gotta be supportive.
But it's not mandatory that they,
No,
they
they have the
have
discretion to
discretion.
require it, but
Yeah.
that. All right, let's see.
can, should that be separated out as a, I think when I looked at it, I thought maybe it should be a 1 and a 2, and maybe that's why it printed out that way.
Maybe you just gave me a 1 and 2.
Well, does it make sense to be a 1 and a 2? Because A is about sketch plan required, and then,
Yeah, I think it's better not to have them into that big paragraph.
Yeah.
I think
There's-
this makes,
Well, because the sentence before it is the planning board may also.
let me look, because you guys are looking at the printout that I did before I made these changes, so let me just pull up the section and see what I actually did. And then I'll see where I separated it, because Mary Lou's the only one who has that version right now, printed out in front of her. We have the original.
I'm unique.
I may have made that change just to make it flow better. Oh, so A ends with the word meeting,
Mm-hmm.
and then the 1 starts with the planning board may also require the
Yeah.
submission. So, the 5th line from the bottom is where 1 begins. And
You
then
know what
2,
I would do? I would make the first paragraph 1, the second where it says 1 now, make that 2, and make 2, 3.
you got it. I was just separating them so they weren't lost in the.
Right.
big run-on.
And I think that's a good thing. But now
Okay.
I get why, I'm looking at this thinking, am I insane?
No, it's just I made that change when I was going through and looking at it, but the board's looking at what was printed out before I made those changes.
Okay,
So, is everybody okay with that? Just separating that into 3 separate sections. Next, Mario?
all right, next I'm scrolling through here. I have to see what section this is. It's 125-15 B 13. On it says for subdivisions where site lighting is required or proposed, lighting plans shall be submitted. I don't think you want to say to the town of Rochester, because somebody's going to think you want it to go to the town board.
Yeah,
Right? I would take out to the town of Rochester. That's all on
they'll
that.
be submitted to the planning board.
You can put the planning board or nothing at all, because everything's being submitted to the planning board.
So just say shall be submitted for review.
Right.
Yeah, that was a cut and a paste from a lighting code and where a lot of this stuff did go to the town board, so, got it.
Yep. And then same, section number 22.
Yep,
I think we should, where it says that a hydrological report may be required, we should put it in the discretion of the planning board. In the planning board's discretion.
So a hydrological report may be required.
At the discretion of the planning board. Or in the discretion, however you want to phrase that.
At the planning board's discretion.
That works.
So says Mr. Coleman.
All right. Then 125-18A, re-subdivision of lands. In A, same thing as before, the same changes we made. sooner
By the way,
about-
that is the new terminology, the 100-year flood hazard area. It's not no longer the 100-year floodplain.
Okay, until next year.
Yeah. Actually, no, that's not it. I gotta correct that. Yeah, no, yeah, it says, I've gotta fix that one. I've got the right language written down somewhere. Where's your next section, Mary Lou? I'm sorry.
Okay, 125-18 capital A. It's another one where you have an 18 and an 18 capital A. Re-subdivision of lands,
Yep,
A and B, the same things I said earlier about when I don't remember the language we used earlier, but it's about when the changes will
so it's from the, just see the
change the
definition.
designation. Right,
I'm just gonna make a note, see definition for changes.
and there you go.
That was it?
No, come
Oh.
on.
When you said there you go, I thought you meant you were done.
I meant, there you go, just use the definition. 125-24, common open space. I have something crossed off and I don't know what it is. It's something that was there before. In the case of subdivisions of 10 or more lots,
It used to say 25 or more lots, and we lowered it. to
right,
10.
right. But after that, after it says 10 or more lots, what's the next word? Because
Then,
Then not less than 10% of the gross area of the entire shall be reserved.
I
for
don't think you
council-
need the word then.
Okay,
It's not a killer word, but you know, I've been reading my Strunk and White and they tell me not to put in extra words.
okay. Got it.
All right, let's see if there's anything else. Okay, 125-30 lighting requirements. And don't worry, Mike, I'm not going to question your lighting requirements.
That's okay. 125, 30.
We have, under
Yeah.
A1,
Yes,
it says street lighting may be provided. So for residential developments where lot sizes are or average less than the half acre, street lighting may be provided as follows. Do we want must be, shall be?
how about the planning board may require? street
That's
lighting
fine.
as follows?
That's fine.
You okay with that? So then it's a discretionary thing based
Yep.
on that.
That's fine. All right, that's cool. Something with an E.
Are you into the conservation subdivision?
Yep.
actually, I didn't
120-31.
I just realized we have 2 letter A's to start with. I'm gonna have to fix that.
Yeah.
It would just be like all the state laws when you read it have 3 D's and no E, and I always love reading the state laws. There are
Uh-huh.
3 D's. Doesn't somebody from all this staff proofread those things?
So go down to what we call capital E4.
A4?
E4
E4.
is an elephant. Yep. Where it says section 140, That one should be 40 because section and chapter are not interchangeable.
Wait, where are you? You said E4?
E4, the first line, says site plan approval in accordance with section 140, chapter 140.
Okay,
So it should say
chapter 140.
chapter
instead of the
140
little
zoning?
symbol.
Oh,
It's just the symbol.
yeah,
That's
isn't
just
this,
a. I'm sorry?
but it's subsection
It froze it,
140,
I think.
we, okay, I can change it to chapter 140, but
Yeah, it's chapter 140.
got it.
Think that might be it, but don't go anywhere yet. Just want to be sure. That's it.
Okay.
Oh, just that symbol is just in that one instance?
Yeah, it's just in that one, so just change it to chapter. Okay, so. And then Mary Lou, did you see how I wrote the effective date? Is that okay? The way
Yes,
did?
I like that. I like that.
So did you all catch that? So the effective date, if we adopt this before we adopt the zoning, even if it's filed with the state, it doesn't take effect until chapter 140 is filed with the state and approves.
Okay, I like that.
So that way, if we get done early, get it there, but it doesn't, it's there, it's done, but it doesn't take effect.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense because you have references to zoning.
But one,
Districts that don't
without the two
exist
working
yet.
together makes sense.
Yep.
Now, thinking sort of further ahead. Do we want to do a resolution tonight to refer this to the local planning board and to the county planning board with me making the changes that I just made? Not setting it for public hearing yet. I'm envisioning that we would do this public hearing at the August audit meeting. But because if we wait till the July audit meeting to send it to the county, they're only going to get it 5 days before their meeting, and it's a substantial code.
Well, why don't we do the referrals and schedule the public hearing tonight? We can do them at the
But
schedule
the
here.
public hearing, we don't have to schedule. We can schedule it a different time. I just want to do the referrals. That way, if we come across something else that we think we need to change, we still can. If it's not a significant change. I was just trying to get the referrals done, so because the county planning board is the first Wednesday, town planning board is the second Monday. So the scheduling of the public hearing, there's no reason, we don't have to do it tonight because it's 6 weeks away. So we could do that later, but I wanted to get the referral done, but I didn't know if you guys wanted to see the changes that Mary Lou just did. Otherwise, I'm gonna make these changes tonight, send it to Kate for tomorrow so she can get it to the county now.
That's fine.
I think we should do it. Yeah, they're pretty minor.
Is everybody okay with that? And the thing is, if we do a referral and we catch a mistake, that's why I kind of wanted to do the referral and let you guys see the finished product before we send it. In my mind, that way we know this is the version.
Right, but we're not gonna be making major changes before we set up a public hearing.
Probably not, but at least this way we get a check of the changes I just made to make sure we all agree before we set up a public hearing. Rather than you sort of trusting that my notes of Mary Lou, if a word or two is wrong in the referral to the county or to the local planning board, it's not going to matter. But when we're setting it for public hearing, it should be the version that's going to public hearing. So I would prefer
Right,
that.
and we don't know
Don't
what
set-
comments we'll get
Because
from
you
them.
guys haven't, but you guys haven't, I would prefer you guys see the finished copy that's set for public hearing before we set the public hearing. Just to sort of protect myself.
Okay,
But if I've made a mistake or two in the referral to the county, if it's a word or two here or there, that's not a significant, unless it's really a
Yeah.
major problem. Does
So
that
I would say,
make sense?
I'd recommend you make the motion to send it to the town planning board.
Board and the Ulster County Planning.
Right. As presented and amended at tonight's meeting.
That's exactly how I was going to do
Second.
it. So,
Yeah, I make the motion, Mary Lou just said.
okay, second,
Referred.
I'll second.
All right, now, Mike, what about, you have to do adjoining towns, and all that stuff? Do you want to wait until it's finalized to do it to them? Because
yeah, let's wait for all that.
Okay,
Because we don't have to send the actual local law to the adjoining towns, we just have to notice them of the public hearing. Right?
no, I think you have to send them the law.
The code itself?
Let me check 239.
I mean, it's only been the zoning, but yeah, we've always sent it.
Oh. I thought it was just you had to make them aware of the public hearing. Well, let's vote on the motion
Let me look.
in front of us right now, because what you're doing has nothing to do with this motion, so. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained. I know what I'm doing tonight. It'll be in your. Actually, wait, a minute. If I got it to you. 24th. The 5th, 26th, County Planning Board is meeting on August. So Mary Lou, that's really all we needed from you. I mean, if you get that answer, that's fine, but we don't need it right now.
Right,
So. In this way.
all right,
This way I can give a clean copy of the whole local law to email it to all the board members. They can see it and then we set it for public hearing. So I just wanted to give the county enough time because it is significant and it's not like we're just changing a couple lines here and there. So I want to give them enough time to really. Okay.
all right, Mike,
Thank you, Mary
enjoy
Lou.
your time away.
I will.
All right, Aaron,
You're breaking up really bad.
I know, you guys have been till when
Mario, we're not getting anything you're saying.
freezers. Aaron, you know where to find me.
okay.
Got that. Yeah,
But-
between now and 9.
Okay, going back, but still jumping out of order. Letter E, the physical site security consultant proposals. 3 companies came here, met with the town. I drove them around. They met with the clerk. They met with the people in this building. They saw the transfer station. They saw the courthouse. One of them decided after that, they just emailed me the other day. They decided they're not interested. One of them has sent me a proposal. The other one had promised me one for Monday. However, they are based out of New Windsor, New York, and they've been dealing with a lot of flooding.
Yeah.
So he was gonna try to rush and do it last night, and I said, take your time, get it to me by the 24th.
Yeah.
So I will be bringing those to you probably at the August meeting, those 2 proposals. If I get it from them at the 24th, I'll get them both emailed to you, so you have plenty of time to look at them. But, but we're down to 2 now, because the third decided that they just were not interested, so. When I put it on the agenda, I thought I was he reached out to me yesterday. And it's a pretty valid excuse. I kind of figured that that's why I hadn't heard from him. And then he said, oh man, our whole building was underwater. So. The assessor position. Let me share this with you from our current assessor. He is proposing that we consider in the next budget to have a full-time assessor position rather than a shared services. This document is his reasoning. I realize we don't have to decide tonight. I just wanted to sort of present it. He did give me a lot of backup that I did not take time to make copies of or to scan because it's probably 50 or so pages. But if I can just sort of throw these numbers out at you. So he has created a new construction spreadsheet to track and monitor all new construction. There are currently 89 new construction parcels on the ongoing list in all different phases of construction. That's a pretty sizable amount. His opinion is we need a full-time assessor to accurately track and value that many new construction projects and to be able to put partial assessments, because when they do the assessed value as of July 1st, if something is under construction, they view what percentage of it is done and they value that percentage at that moment. It's not just there's no change in value. If the house is 30% done, they value the 30%. So that is an ongoing thing that happens. He also has made a spreadsheet for renovations and other items that have to be corrected, changed, and valued on the spreadsheet. There are 438 items on the list to track right now. His opinion again is that we need a full-time assessor to accurately track all that. And then and this I can probably scan and share that he made some notes within. It is a document that New York State Department of Taxation and Finance puts out that is guidelines for effective assessment administration in New York State. And I will share this with you. I'm not going to share the spreadsheets because the spreadsheet is just the blown out detail, but the key is 438 renovations and 89 new construction that are ongoing as of this moment. And then again, the reasons for it. Being that I'm going to be in August and September starting to work on the budget, I wanted to get a feel for where you stand. He also wanted to give ample time to the other towns because his opinion is he's half-time with us, he's a quarter time with each of the other two towns. His opinion is that he would become our full-time assessor and they would be left to find their own assessors. He also, remember we had budgeted for an assessor field worker, that position would no longer be needed. So the funding that was appropriated for that position would be added into the salary. I haven't sat down and looked at dollars to dollars numbers. It's probably not enough to cover the increase in salary to go from half-time to full-time. But based on the amount of what's going on in the town of Rochester, and it's not slowing down at all. And there've been, what I say the other day, 50 some parcels added in 2 years in the town of Rochester.
When we initially started the conversation about this replacing our previous assessor, we were looking for a full-time. That's how we started that conversation because we felt like we needed it. So I don't think we should be making decisions right now, but I think that it's definitely worth putting it into the budget when you're. I
want a generalized feel because if you guys all said, oh no, we don't want that, then I would go back to you and say, look, they don't. If you guys think this is worthwhile exploring, I'll let him know. He can sort of broach the subject with the other two towns because he wants to be fair to them and say, look, this is a likelihood that it's gonna happen. Obviously, until we do the budget in September, we won't know exactly what that means in dollars and cents, but the amount that we've already budgeted for the assessor aid, which this year there was money budgeted that we didn't expend at all. And then, you know, if we had done that position next year, the two combined probably would more than pay for the doubling of his salary.
And his closing statement, the additional tax base generated by keeping assessments current and data updated is immeasurable. It'll increase the tax base and lower the tax rates for all taxpayers. It'll probably end up paying for itself by doing it right.
I think so.
Especially with the equalization.
I think so. And he also thinks that as we do revals, he will be able to do a lot of this in-house. He's not ready to commit to say I can do 100% do a reval in-house like Mike Dunham did. Mike Dunham did it at a very different time in the real estate market. That was 5 years ago, I think, wasn't it, Kate, when we did the reval? It was before I was supervisor.
Yeah.
so.
I would want to say 16.
No, probably, yeah, so probably 7 years ago. So. Okay, so is everybody okay that I just sort of convey to him? Yes, there's general agreement to explore it, if that makes any, you know, we're not committing to anything, but the generalized agreement is we will explore this.
I mean, the only reason why we didn't go with the full-time assessors was, I feel like it was budgetary. We felt like when,
People that were with that
Yeah.
were $1 bazillion. So this
and
was-
and it worked out when we found the shared
Yeah.
position, but I know I just from that standpoint, I feel like.
Yeah, and quite frankly, he runs out of time in 20 hours a week. He runs out of time. There's just not enough time to, and even with the assessor's aid position, a lot of this is only the assessor can do the work. You know, the valuation, the assessor's aid can't do the valuations. The assessor's aid can gather all the paperwork and put it on his desk, but at some point he has to sit down with comparables and with the valuation and come up with a number. So, and I don't know how long each one takes, but
Well, his big point was here in the one bullet point, the internal association says that for every 2,500 parcels, there should be one employee. We have almost 5,000 parcels. We should have 2 employees based on what the state recommends. So
and we have 1.5.
1.5.
So going up to 2. And we were looking at a half-time assessor field worker. So by taking that position and adding it to the assessor's position, although the dollar to dollar is not comparable, there's a lesser paying job, but still we would be able to achieve some of that funding out of that position. So, okay, thank you. I appreciate that. I'm sure he will too. Back to our old friend, trying to find some meeting dates for zoning code. I'm back on the 24th is when I'm back in the office. Saturday, the 29th. Is there any interest? Saturdays are really the only day that work really well for Aaron, unfortunately.
I can do Sundays, but that's not what you were saying. Nobody wants to do Sunday.
Well, I don't mind
Yeah.
doing Sundays either, but
Um,
I think in August,
I just don't have availability.
I think we really need it throughout August. I think we need 2 to 3 meetings at minimum.
I'm not gonna have anything left weekends in July. Saturdays and Sundays are out, but most of August is available. Weekends.
Okay. So the 29th, not an option?
I mean, I cannot.
What's that?
I cannot.
You can't? Okay.
I
Adam
can.
Michael,
I could probably do it.
are you guys okay if the 3 of us move forward with stuff?
You're just doing the comments still, right? That we've got
Just
back.
going through the
So, yeah,
comments.
I-
You know, you can sort of stay ahead of us if you see something that you really wanna, you know, to shoot an email and say, hey, you know, you're gonna be working on this section.
I can change anything. I'm
You
not,
can.
I'm not bound by the.
No, and
Just
and none of us are bound by the comments. I mean, if we see something that's in the existing code that we think isn't right, we're gonna fix it, so. Okay, so, July 29th. 9 AM, okay,
well, but then that would cancel the meeting.
let's schedule it, because we gotta advertise it, and if we have to cancel, we cancel. I'd rather schedule it and then not have it, and
Okay.
not schedule it and then figure out, well, we could have it.
Our next meeting is the 27th.
Our next meeting is the 27th, yes. So then we're gonna meet the 29th. 5:45, yes. Do we want to try to meet August 5th?
I also cannot. I started bartending now, so.
I can do,
Check one other calendar, my third calendar. I am good.
Mike?
Yeah, who cares?
Again, we can always cancel.
Same time.
Yep, 9 AM. Do I dare say the 12th, and that's 3 Saturdays in a row?
I can do the 19th.
I'd rather not.
Okay, you can do the 19th. Can you do the 19th?
I have no schedule, so.
Okay.
Sure.
Can you
It's
do 19th,
Wednesday.
Aaron?
Oh,
Yeah, I
wait,
can do it.
Adam?
I'll bring Sally again. Do more Sally time.
I can do it.
Okay, so,
I love having that.
Yeah, so do I.
so we're just, we want to just, why don't we stop there? Because that gives us 3 meetings. That combined with doing some work on the, well, 27th is up in the air because we got the public hearing,
Yeah.
and then we
and
got signing bills. I doubt we're getting anything
I
done.
think, yeah, I don't think we'll be productive.
We might be able to do some on the 3rd. We probably definitely can do some on the 10th.
Right.
So let's stop there for the moment. That'll get us through enough time that Kate can advertise that. And I think, Kate, you can probably do this all in one advertisement, but maybe the public hearing should be separate.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so, okay, so I'm gonna make a motion that we convene a special meeting July 29th, August 5th, and August 19th at 9 AM. The Harold Community Center. And request the town clerk secretary.
I'll make that motion.
One second.
Okay, all in favor?
I,
Aye. Opposed?
We don't, do we need to make sure the community center doesn't?
They don't put us on. We
Yeah,
have,
I'll put it in there. I'm not aware of too many things on the
Okay,
Saturday.
okay.
and you know, we reserve the right first, so if somebody else has a book. Sorry. It's easier if we meet, it's easier for us, to meet, especially on a Saturday, during the day. Fire district is not really.
Okay.
Okay, all that's left is zoning code. Do you guys want to do any more tonight? I have a few things that I can hand out that kind of clean up from where we were the other day. You want to just sort of set an hour time limit and like be done by 8:30, and I would appreciate it.
I mean, I thought that's what we're,
Yeah. Okay, so.
Like-
Birthday, right? Yeah, today's Molly's birthday. Happy
Well, not
birthday, Molly. Okay. Okay, thank you very much.
very well. We're gonna do zoning board.
Good result.
yeah. Yeah, it didn't make sense that you didn't want to stop. at 4.
Didn't want to stop. What
We'll
is
bring
that?
Molly to switch Pop-Tarts from my Adams.
What happened?
Are we gonna stay, do we want to keep moving?
Pull on out.
Oh, we can.
Okay, we're ending while we discuss zoning code, because
They don't